Yo, what's cracking? This is Daniel Walton, and this is the show for those who don't believe in limitations. So if you're ready to be better than you were yesterday and hit new levels mentally, physically, financially, or spiritually, it's time to go higher.
If your dick doesn't get up, go to Hims.
Right.
If you want to understand why your dick doesn't get up, you come to us.
It's stuff for people to inject themselves every day. We can do food allergy tests and environmental testing.
So I stopped eating eggs and I legitimately lost 33 pounds in 40 days.
That's crazy. That's like Ozempic.
Non-inflammatory diet.
What is a non-inflammatory diet?
Everybody has kind of their own diet that they like. I like a primarily carnivore-based diet.
So today we have special guests, Nivana, founders of Nivana Health, which is one of the leading, most premier functional medicine telehealth platforms out there. Now, before we dive into all the science and everything that you guys want to know about functional health, why don't we start with the journey of James and John, where they started. They have they transitioned from a more conventional background in investment banking and law. And now you guys are starting one of the most premier telehealth businesses, functional health businesses. Why don't we talk about, that transition from your conventional background to where you guys are at today?
Definitely. So I think where we started in the space, my sister is actually a full practice authority nurse practitioner. So 4 or 5 years ago, she was looking at either purchasing a practice in Washington State or starting her own. So we looked at a number of practices that were for sale, and understanding the numbers, the economics behind the business helped us understand a lot about the supply chain and what works and what doesn't. So she decided to open up her own space. And then we, fast forward, started our own clinic 2.5 years ago, which was more traditional female-focused med spa that has Botox, dermal fillers, microneedling, cool sculpting, all of those things. And John and I, we got together and said, this is a great med spa. We had a lot of fun. We drank some bottles of wine when we were there, and we did some of the services, but it wasn't as conducive to men or a unisex market.
Mm-hmm.
So the advent of Defiant was born from when we turn 30, we turn 35. You start to understand that your body starts to naturally slow down a little bit. Your testosterone goes down by 1% a year. And for men that want to perform at a peak level, both brain power as well as physical power, you have to consider supplementation and take care of your body in a different way than you did when you were 20. And you could just eat pizza, work out 5 days a week, and be just fine, right? So the advent of Defiant came from what will we do in our lifestyles to be a high-performing corporate attorney in John's instance, investment banker in my instance. At a peak level, we wanted to understand how we're going to do that and build a lifestyle around it. And that's really how Defiant was born. And when we signed the lease, put everything together and really executed on the plan, it's going from ideation to really fruition on. A lot of people get caught up in that execution. There's no shortage of ideas that are out there, right? You can have the greatest idea of all time, but how are you going to execute that plan? I think that's what John and I actually do really well together. So you want to maybe take off from there.
Yeah. I mean, we are good at executing on business ideas.
Right.
I would say. I mean, for me on my side, I'm a corporate attorney. I represented clients all over the world and I was traveling a lot. I was pretty high performance athlete, played sports through college.
What sports?
Lacrosse.
Lacrosse. Okay.
So I grew up on the East Coast from DC, played sports through college, a little bit after college. And so getting into being a corporate attorney and traveling around and you're just banging on your body. It takes a toll traveling all the time. And so I was always looking for kind of the next wellness thing that came out. I was looking at cryotherapy and a number of PRP and stem cell therapies and all this kind of thing, but it was kind of all over the place. You'd go to one stem cell place over here, one PRP place over here, one hyperbaric chamber place over here, and they were kind of few and far between. And so when James and I met, one of the things we came down to was it would be really nice if there was just one place that had all of this together and incorporated a concierge healthcare element to it, kind of doing a full vertical business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we came up with the idea for Defiant, and then we always say kind of unfortunately, both of us are executors.
Yeah.
And the next morning it was one of those, we woke up and we were like, all right, we're really going to do this. Right. And yeah, so that was it. And it took off from there and we kept adding pieces to it. So, and it was really anything both of us kind of wanted in to supplement our own healthcare.
Yeah.
And incorporate different wellness pieces throughout. And
it was really like a blend of aesthetics, which we knew that market really well. Like there's still a huge market for Botox fillers, the confidence of people coming in and want to look pretty. How do you do that and get those results quickly?
Yeah.
That is traditional med spa. But when it comes to the overall health and the concierge side of medicine, that's where we think a lot of med spas aren't yet there. And it's still early days in transitioning from aesthetic only to what type of peptide should you be taking for recovery? Like what kind of cryotherapy should you have? And that was a debate that you and I had as we were putting together the business. Do we put a cryotherapy chamber in there or do we do a cold plunge?
Yeah.
What'd you go with?
Cryo chamber.
Yeah.
From a business standpoint, it made more sense.
Yeah.
Well, both a business standpoint and when you think about cryotherapy versus just a cold plunge is generally going to be in like a gym. You put one in your house. It's a low barrier to entry, maybe $10,000. Fully electric cryo chamber that's non-nitrogen is a 6-figure investment. So most individual people, unless you're like Paris Hilton, you're not going to have that in your house, right?
Right. Yeah, everybody's kind of getting the cold plunges in their house. You're
Yeah.
seeing that much. Now they're just selling the individual like.
Well, like the effectiveness though too. So you're in an electric cryo chamber for 3 minutes and 30 seconds and it's minus 175 degrees versus how long do you have to sit in a cold plunge? Probably 15 minutes. So I think it's a time thing. And then you're also wet. You have to shower. So
yeah,
we didn't want to build
wet in the shower. It's a pain in the ass.
How'd you guys meet? I mean, you guys both execute. That's something I value.
Yeah. John, we met on the client side. So he was
he was a client of mine.
Okay.
So I represented him franchise
yeah,
and in the investment business. And I've been an entrepreneur my whole career at this point.
Well, we had a conversation where we were talking about like, oh, what else do you do?
Right.
And I was like, oh, we also own a med spa in downtown Naperville. And then you're like, oh, our company has a stake in a pharmacy.
Yep.
So that was we're already in the health business. Let's kind of talk about that.
Yeah.
Escalated very quickly from there.
Yeah. And I had represented a number of pharmaceutical companies, biotech companies. And individuals and businesses that have intricate supply chains. And so that's where a lot of my interests lie in expanding Nivana, is identifying the best supply chain for our products and ensuring that everything is US made, manufactured, and supplied, which is very different than the rest of the industry in this case.
Right. Yeah. I mean, most med spas, they're just buying like cheap China manufactured.
Yeah, even
everything.
Even Hims. So Hims is a public company that's in the space,
which by the way is a great business.
Yeah, they've done fantastically well. It's an $8 billion company, but they up until recently they bought a US based manufacturing compounder 503A and 503B that came out about 2 weeks ago. Prior to that, pretty sure they're buying it offshore.
All of their product was from India and China, and I understand and know exactly what their supply chain was. I've talked to their suppliers, I've talked to their manufacturers, and yeah, I mean, 8 times out of 10, you're going to have a fine product, but that 20% of the time sucks. And
what does that look for in, to the patient perspective or the customer, if they are that 20% that isn't the quality product?
Yeah.
What are the reactions?
I'll tell you. So it's funny. In the beginning, you're kind of testing out supply chains, you're testing out products, you're trying to figure out, okay, who's going to be our manufacturer? And so BPC 157 was one peptide that we were trying to source. And since then, the FDA has actually negatively affected the supply of BPC 157, but it's neither here nor there. Peptides in general, so in this case, BPC 157. And so we both sourced that peptide. It came in, we started taking it. And within 2 days, both of us had eye infections.
Like the exact same.
Are you serious?
And not like, oh shit, it's a little bit of redness, whatever. No. My eye was shot.
It was like a sty.
And it wasn't, it was like a sty. It was like a very, it was a painful sty. And for people who were like, oh no, that's just correlation doesn't equal causation. It's like, no. I don't wear glasses. I don't wear contacts. I have never had an eye infection in my whole life. The only thing that I had changed at all was that I was sourcing this from this manufacturer, specifically in China. And by the way, very well known, used by some of the largest companies in this space. And that was kind of when.
But really, it's just online retail warehouses that are making themselves out to be U.S. companies that are sourcing it from overseas and white labeling it here as their own product.
Correct.
Like what? Like Peptide Sciences, those. I mean, they have a big disclaimer that says not for human consumption, but I have friends that are like, oh yeah, just go to Peptide Sciences. I'm like, so are you an idiot?
The California Peptides.
So not for human consumption is they're kind of covering their ass as it relates to FDA regulations. So I don't want to say that kind of disclaimer, and this is now I running off on a
there you
legal
go.
space.
There you go. There you go.
I understand when they're doing that, but you know, at the end of the day, when they say, "Oh, it's supplied," or we're a dispensary in the United States, they're getting it from overseas.
Well, but the same active ingredient is pentadecargenate, which you can get from a compounder, and you want to get it from a U.S. based compounder. It's that easy,
Right? So
now, I heard the 503Bs are still just getting it from China. Is that true?
yeah, I mean, what you want to find is a U.S. based compounding pharmacy. In our case, we use a compounding pharmacy in Texas.
Yeah, well, I do others as well,
and 2 others as well, but we were literally there 2 weeks ago. If one of our patients is taking something, I've been to the compounding pharmacy. I've seen what they're taking, and I understand the supply chain from beginning to end.
Right.
And if there are any problems, we can go talk to the guy that created the problem.
Yeah.
And I always want to be able to do that.
Right.
If my supply chain originates in India or China, my closest touch point is a WhatsApp message. That's as close as I'm going to get.
Right.
And that's unacceptable.
Right. So was there like an aha moment that you saw like a gap in the market, maybe in the telehealth market or the healthcare market, that kind of got you to where you guys are at now?
I think I looked at the existing telehealth market and the wellness market as a whole, and all of the existing brands left me with a sense of, okay, cool, what now? So several years ago, this was probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago at this point, I took a food sensitivity test through Everlywell. Everlywell, another great company.
Yeah.
And it showed that I was highly allergic to egg whites. Now, I work out all the time. I worked out. What do you eat? You eat eggs.
Yeah.
Right?
I had eggs for breakfast.
You had eggs for breakfast. Everybody has eggs. He had eggs for
bacon,
breakfast.
avocado.
I can't anymore. But it showed me, and I was eating eggs every single day because that's what you do. And I was eating 3, 4, 5 eggs per day. But I had kind of seen, you look in the mirror, you know what's in the mirror. And I was like, shit, I work out every day. I'm not seeing the results that I usually see.
Right.
I was looking a little puffy. And I was like, all right. So I took this food sensitivity test, and it showed I was highly allergic to eggs. And I was like, well, shit, I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
So I stopped eating eggs, and I legitimately lost 33 pounds in 40 days.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's like Ozempic.
And every time I say that, people are like, show me the before and afters. So I've had to go back into my family.
Like we need to put that on the screen here.
Yeah. I've had to go back in my family photos and do the most embarrassing thing in the world, which is, here's my fat ass picture. And here's what I look at now. And it was literally just eggs. Everything else in my life stayed the same.
Wow.
And it was about 2 days of my body, I guess, altering or something like that. I stopped eating eggs, and then I would wake up in the middle of the night drenched in sweat, like drenched for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. Just, it was like my body was purging.
That's crazy.
And I would get on the scale, and there's a picture of me, ironically, at Lifetime Gym 40 days after. And it's just shred.
Wow.
And before it, he always makes fun of me. He's like, fat boy. And it was crazy. And we've seen that result again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
For a multitude of different people.
I mean, food sensitivity is the most interesting test for people to take, because almost everybody is coming up with like a dairy allergy, an egg white allergy, or a seed oil allergy.
Almost everybody. Here's the interesting thing about that, right? In representing biotech companies and representing pharmaceutical companies, the same thing keeps coming up for causes of cancer. There's 2 things: stress, inflammation.
Right.
All the other stuff, yeah. Okay, you don't smoke, don't do this, don't do that. But the 2 biggest kind of indicative things of, okay, this person can get stress and inflammation. And if we can reduce inflammation, and that's really what we're doing by providing food sensitivity tests, providing diagnostic tests, and identifying where inflammation causing foods and environmental factors are influencing people's lives, then that will decrease 2 things: diabetes and cancer marketably. So a reduction in overall intake of inflammatory based foods will reduce type 2 diabetes by 35%.
Wow.
And will reduce cancer, all-cause cancer, by 50%.
Wow. That's great.
So when I'm talking about me losing 33 pounds in 40 days, I reduced, if I had kept eating eggs, it's not if I would have gotten cancer, I would have gotten cancer.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
and likely between the age of 45 and 65.
And what age did you realize something was wrong when you did that test?
33.
33.
33. I'm 39 now. And we're seeing it. I mean, we saw one of our clients, patients. He came in, ex-professional baseball player, cop, great guy, highly intelligent. He had gone to his doctor. His doctor was just like, go work out, do whatever it is. He had gone from 225 pounds playing weight to 265 pounds. Just wasn't, he was working out. He was doing what he was doing, but he just added all his weight. Okay. So he came in, we looked at him. Hey, look, let's run you through the diagnostics, understand what the underlying cause of this weight gain is. Right. And so he came back. We said, listen, let's look at a GLP. While we're figuring this out, let's look at a GLP. Let's look at potential peptides that you might take. And we knew he was going to have a highly reactive body, right? Professional athletes, one of the reasons why they're so exceptional is they have highly reactive bodies, fast twitch muscles. They can adapt to things. On GLP, he came back 3 weeks later.
Yeah, it was less than a month, and we almost didn't recognize him. He had lost 30 pounds.
Yeah.
In less than a month on GLP-1. He was taking TERS.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he also has food allergy.
Well, and that was the other thing. So what we just said was, hey, look, over the next couple of weeks while you're doing this, just try this diet. Like try a non-inflammatory diet.
Yeah.
Which you're going to remove dairy.
What is a non-inflammatory diet?
Everybody has kind of their own diet that they like. I like a primarily carnivore-based diet. Like single ingredients.
Yeah.
I always tell this to my kids. I have 3 kids. I'm like, the best food has no ingredient label. Like, what's in a banana?
Yeah.
Freaking banana.
Yeah.
That's it. Right?
Yeah. Fruit and steak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fruit. Like, show me the ingredient label for steak. And
Yeah.
there is none because it's steak.
Yeah.
So, and that's it. Like when you're first going through these things, just go on a no ingredient list diet.
Whole food diet.
Whole food diet. Right?
Yeah.
So no, like stay off the milk, stay off this. Not a lot of basically no processed food. So during those couple of weeks, he didn't have any dairy.
These are dairy free, by the way. We got oat milk. Just
by the way,
I should have
dairy.
prefaced.
I love dairy. My body has no problem with dairy.
Yeah, we're good on it. But if you're allergic to it, it will be
holy crap
inflammatory for you.
He went on a carnivore based diet, basically meat and fruit with no dairy products for 2.5 weeks, along with a terzepatide protocol. And he lost 30 pounds.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. In 2.5 weeks.
But
that's insane.
Now we know GLP-1s work really well. We've had hundreds of people on the protocol that have lost all the weight over a period of time. The makers of that are Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk. And those are huge companies now because this was a blockbuster drug for both of them. But the challenge becomes, especially for men, is you lose some muscle mass. So do we want to be on GLP-1s forever at a high dose? No. So once you get off of that, how do you maintain the muscle mass aside from good nutrition and working out? Consider things like peptides.
Yeah.
And that's a space where it's probably going to get a lot more prevalent as people realize, okay, well, I've lost the weight, but I'm, kind of flabby. And we can treat the skin in aesthetic offices. How do you treat the actual muscle mass loss? Peptides.
Yeah.
Sermorelin.
I mean, our experience with Sermorelin is incredible.
Yeah. Great sleep, more energy.
Yeah.
They've come up with, it's tough for people to inject themselves every day. And I think that this is where the peptide science crowd or the people that are going online and trying to source things, you have to get, you're diluting it yourself.
It's so insane.
You're putting bacteriostatic water, whatever it might be. You're putting it into
it's sketchy when you're doing it your first time.
Like, when I was first getting into it, everybody looked at me like I was crazy because I didn't know how to mix a solution of bacteriostatic water. I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's Breaking Bad.
So I smoke weed every so often.
Okay.
And when I first got on peptides, it was one of the nights like I smoked weed and I'm like, oh, I got to start like my injection. And I go to like read the instructions and I'm like, what the fuck is going? Like, what if I mix this wrong?
Right. Yeah,
Am I going to die?
Right.
Then I'm like, the needle is like so sketchy too. And I was just, mistake. I'm like, never smoke before doing it.
Feel like a drug addict.
Oh, it was
so weird.
It was crazy. Yeah.
For a little bit more money, get a clinic to help you dose correctly.
Yeah.
That's if you're going to do the injections.
But even if like, that's the other point of it, you don't actually have to do the injections. So 200 megs injected of, let's say, sermorelin could just be a 500 milligram RDT, rapid dissolve tablet that you put under your tongue 5 days a week, 2 days off. That's it.
So that was
So
the
much
other
easier.
that was the other thing we saw on the market was, a lot of the foreign suppliers don't provide
They don't have
anything but
tablets.
injections.
Yeah, there's no troches. There's no
And
tablets.
we were like, all right, well, we can provide all the peptides that all these other brands have, and we can provide options for people. You want the injections? God bless. We'll give you the injections. But we also have RDTs. We also have troches. So for me, I don't know, there's something weird about me injecting myself in the butt every night. I just didn't, it wasn't, I don't know what it is. So now we do RDTs.
Yeah.
And it's great. Just pop it under your tongue right before you go to bed.
Right.
Sleep like a baby.
I think most people prefer that.
It's not even close. It's like 90% of
given
people.
the option.
Yeah, other than the extreme bodybuilders that are competing at the Arnold Classic.
Yeah,
I mean,
they might be the only
God bless
ones.
those guys. And we have a number of bodybuilders who are patients.
But I think like that the bodybuilding crowd leads to a stigma.
Yeah.
We were talking about this today, is all of the executives, like if you think about Dana White, CEO of UFC, if you think about Joe Rogan, even Brian Johnson on Don't Die Netflix series, all of these guys are getting older and realizing I'm losing testosterone. And how do I stay at a peak performance level? I supplement my testosterone.
Yeah.
And by supplementing your testosterone at a recommended dosage versus a crazy bodybuilding or WWF dosage is actually pretty safe.
Yeah.
Right? So I think we can help to normalize taking testosterone replacement, optimizing your hormones, and get away from the stigma of we're going to overdose on things that we shouldn't be overdosing on.
Right. And there's a lot of peptides that allow your body to recreate the testosterone naturally.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not sure if I would say like recreate the, like, I think we've seen some increase in testosterone from better sleep, better mood, and a lot of things that peptides like sermorelin may do for you. But exogenous testosterone, or taking something like enclomiphene, which suppresses your estrogen and raises your testosterone, there's not going to be, I don't think, a replacement for that. But if you're thinking about enclomiphene as an option, enclomiphene is a tab. You don't have to take an injection of cypionate once weekly. You can actually take a dosage, whether it's a high dose 3 days a week or a lower dose every single day of enclomiphene, and get a very desired result. If your testosterone is at 300, it's likely going to double it to 600. If it's 500, you'll be at 1,000 just by taking the tablet.
Yeah. I mean, I remember one of the best sales pitches I think I've ever made was to our realtor. That one time when we were sitting down.
That was a funny one.
Yeah. And I must have been tired. I was like, all right, let's go. But she was like, well, I don't really understand what your business is. Can you give me kind of an idea of what you guys do so that I can put you in the right location? And probably 50 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, let me guess what your life is like. I was like, you're 50 years old. Your husband's probably 52. You used to be all over each other. He used to be super excited to get up in the morning, sad to go to bed because, he couldn't talk to you anymore and he just had to go to sleep. He used to be fun with the kids and doing this and doing that. He also used to be ripped. And now he's got a little bit of a dad bod. Now he just seems depressed all the time. And you guys haven't had sex ever for as long as you can remember. And she's like, yeah, you live in my house. And I was like, how about this? How about you come to my business and I'll send you back a new husband. That husband will be happy to wake up, won't have the brain fog, will want to go to the gym, will see the results at the gym, will be more excited to be around the kids, will be more excited to be around you. And he's going to kick those kids out because he wants to have sex with you all the time, just like when you were younger. And he's got more motivation. He's more determined. He's that guy that you married again. And the biggest difference is going to be him coming to a place like Defiant, getting with Nivana and, supplementing with testosterone, identifying what peptides work for him, getting on one of the protocols.
Yeah.
And that's easy. It's that easy. I mean, that was it. And she was like, yeah, this is an awesome business. And it's a lot of fun.
So why are men walking around with like half the testosterone levels that their fathers used to?
Well, I mean, I think there's a number of reasons why. Partially, especially in the United States, like we have a epidemic of obesity. So people have a lot less muscle mass. They're producing less testosterone than we had way back when. And when we've tested a number of people, and I think about the ones that are higher performing on testosterone. Like the highest we've tested that's around the age of 35 is 800, which is the high range of normal.
Was that natural?
That was natural.
That was natural.
This is
Wow,
unsupplemented.
yeah, that's very
I'll give you some
very
background.
high.
One of those people was a person that lived and grew up on a farm. So was eating pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Took good care of himself.
No ultra processed foods.
No ultra processed
Yep.
foods. The other one
No
is,
microplastics, no EMFs.
Yes.
None of the stuff.
Right. The other one was a big guy, former offensive lineman, also the owner of a CrossFit gym. His was around the same level.
Yeah.
So you've got really kind of peak is 800, but that was more the norm if we're looking at 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Right.
what is happening? I think it's certainly obesity. It's the
Yeah.
food supply. We have an issue there. And it's just the fact that
Phones on our crotches all day.
let me
Yeah.
pass over there now.
Microplastics. I mean,
Yeah,
people don't even realize they're wearing plastic clothes all day.
Right.
Viore,
Yeah.
Lululemon, all the top brands. I love them, but it's like I try to not wear it unless I'm in the gym. That's the only time.
I mean,
I don't wear any.
most people get their coffee from a Keurig. You're literally
Yeah.
just melting plastic.
Right.
Yeah.
And putting it in a
This is
cup.
USDA
This is-
organic, single origin, Rainforest Alliance.
I mean, but most of the food we eat, or most people eat, ultra processed.
Yeah.
And you do it for Kraft macaroni and cheese. I've been eating that stuff for 35 years.
It's a multitude of factors, but like we can't compete against the science of our bodies that we lose 1% testosterone a year after the age of 30. So no matter what we do, we're going to get to 60 and we're going to have low testosterone. So at some point we're going to make a decision. Okay, if I'm 550 today and I know I'm going to be 400 or 350 when I'm 45, I'm probably going to make the decision to supplement because there's no other option. It's not just going to naturally go up. Like you could be in the best shape of all time and still have 400 testosterone if you're 50 years old.
Yeah.
Right. Has there ever been somebody that regretted getting their testosterone levels higher?
No.
I
I mean, it's
when we say higher, I think we think optimal. So like, is optimal what you
Right.
were when you were 20?
higher for higher's sake is I mean,
I think the bodybuilder crowd may have regretted getting to 2,000.
yeah, it's different. I mean, the people.
But has anyone regretted being optimal?
No.
Optimal. Yeah.
And I think that's the
question.
biggest difference. I mean, if somebody comes in and they're like, hey, I want to be at 1,800 testosterone because
I'll be like, all right, well, pump the
just-
brakes. Then you have to donate some blood. Like there's
we're
a lot
not,
of other things.
we're also, we're not really the place for that.
Yeah.
Right.
We're the place for
Yeah,
people.
don't come to us for trend. Like we're not doing trend.
You want D-ball.
Yeah, it's a
No.
D-ball here, but
no, yeah. I mean, the crowd who comes in and wants to be optimized, it is a collaborative journey that we go on with our clients.
Yeah.
And
So
it's so fun.
Where do you start? Because, I'm an ex-college athlete. I did wrestling, high performer my whole life. Now that I'm in my 30s, I've noticed things just slowing down, and peptides and getting like really looking at things through a microscope has changed a lot of how I perform and look at things. So when somebody like myself who starts experiencing that, generally imagine in their 30s is pretty standard.
Yeah.
Where do you start? Is it with the food analysis like you did? Is it a blood panel?
testing 100%.
Yeah. You did diagnostic testing.
Yeah, you need to see what does your CMP panel look like? What does your lipid panel look like? What does your thyroid look like? Test all the normal things. And everybody should be taking a food sensitivity analysis because that could change over time too, right? Like you become more sensitive to certain foods. So it's the initial testing and then the ongoing testing. So if something comes back and you're like, okay, I don't feel like the energy I had when I was younger, and your testosterone comes back at 300 and you're 29 years old, you're probably going to want to supplement that. If it's testosterone is 600, but you still don't feel great, maybe you're not getting good sleep. Maybe you're stressed. What can help with that? Maybe a peptide, a sermorelin or something of that nature.
Sleep is such a big factor.
Oh yeah.
Sleep is such a big factor that people just overlook all the time.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I feel like shit. And they're like, yeah, and I've eaten really well. And all this, when you ask them, oh, how do you sleep? And they're like, yeah, I sleep just because I'm stressed.
Yeah.
I don't sleep or something. And they
Well,
look over it.
especially in the entrepreneurial business executive, these go-getters like ourselves, that it's almost like a badge of honor. Oh, I stayed up till 1 a.m. I woke up at 5 a.m. And there's all these celebrities, influencers. I was indoctrinated by some of them. I won't mention their names, but they're like, I wake up at 2:45 every morning, no matter what. If I get to bed at 12 and they're like posting on their stories about how they get to bed at 12, they're up at 2:45 and they're just frying their entire system. you're not as productive as you can be. But yeah, sleep is so
Sleep's
vital.
Huge. Sleep's huge. And I would say of the different supplements we have, sermorelin has been the biggest catalyst for great sleep.
And you wear Whoop strap every day. I haven't jumped on
do.
the Whoop train yet, but you can track your sleep.
Yeah, it's wild how much better my sleep is.
We just
Since you got the Whoop.
No. So because I have the Whoop, I'm able to track my sleep every night, right? And so normally
we're doing a Whoop ad now.
Yeah, right. We're doing a Whoop ad, which I don't really mind because I actually really do like the product.
Yeah.
There's two indicators of sleep that are primary. There's a sleep performance, and then there's recovery on the Whoop. So it kind of gives you a score out of 100. Pre-sermorelin, my normal recovery was somewhere in the 48 to 68% with I think a sleep performance of something like 60%. Sermorelin comes into play. I'm at like 87 to 95% recovery and routinely 90 to 100% sleep performance.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
Marketably better.
Yeah.
And on sermorelin, you are getting up with little to no brain fog. And that was the biggest thing for me. Like in my careers, at this point, multiple things that we do, like I can't not be on.
Right. So,
yeah. And so when you get up and it's just like, shit, I went out to dinner last night and had a couple of drinks and then I'm getting up and I take a while. I can't. That sucks. That starts my day off poorly.
Yeah. That's why I don't drink or smoke anymore because it just messes up my sleep.
It really does.
As an athlete, I never really got into drinking that much because I just felt the effect of it so heavily and all the extra calories, being a wrestler, always counting my calories. So I preferred smoking, but then I stopped for a long time. And now it's like, if my sleep's not as productive, I need like 9 hours of sleep to feel how I feel without anything in my system for, like 7 or 8 hours.
Yeah.
It's a noticeable difference.
So,
alcohol is the worst though.
Alcohol is the worst. And it is crazy. With the Whoop strap, it makes you feel guilty. One beer will reduce your sleep performance by at least 10%.
Yeah.
Like it is crazy. 2 beers, God bless you. Disaster.
It's hard to stay away.
Wine is so good.
But yes,
alcohol in general is so good.
It's so good.
Yeah, I love tequila.
Yeah,
tequila's good.
I think there's the Brian Johnsons of the world where they're like, okay, I've sold a company, I've made a lot of money. I'm on a mission to just see if I can optimize how long I can live healthy. That's one far 3 standard deviation move to one side of taking on longevity. The other side of it is we're social beings, we're social animals.
We are.
If you're going to tell someone that is a social drinker that's responsible to not ever have a drink, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Now the person that is drinking every day, you need to stop drinking.
Right.
But the social animal, I think it helps with your stress levels for certain people. And, you got to live a lifestyle. Right?
Yeah.
Live your lifestyle in a way that is going to continue to help with your health.
Right.
And it's taking some steps, and it doesn't have to be a Brian Johnson level.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
You have to be realistic about
you got to be realistic.
Yeah.
What you're willing to put yourself through mentally and physically.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not for everyone.
Yeah. So for you, if you came into us, the first thing I would do is it's kind of like a menu of diagnostic tests, but CMP panel first. And
what's the CMP panel test for?
CMP panel.
Comprehensive metabolic panel.
It's
so
just
looking at
your basic
white
metabolic
blood cells, red blood cell, just your initial counts. Is anything off? Are you sick? Are you fighting an infection? I took one when I was fighting a flu and my white blood cell count was high. We're like, all right, well, he's just fighting a little bit of a flu. You just want to see where your baseline level is at. The lipid test is going to be your cholesterol.
Okay.
So in meat eaters, it's interesting because we've tested a lot of cholesterol now. It's almost all meat eaters are slightly elevated on cholesterol. Like mine's 212, right?
Yeah.
Which is on the high end of normal. We've seen it as high as 400. And that's
are those tests being done after consumption? Because I've heard right after consumption of
So if you should fast
right
before you take that test. So yes, that's a good point. So if you had a massive dinner and then you came in and we tested you and you had some steak in your system, maybe that's going to throw it off a little bit. So yes, come fasted. But we've seen those really high. We've seen them in most meat eaters slightly elevated, but we're not as concerned about the cholesterol levels, I think, as a lot of doctors are.
Yeah. I think traditional healthcare, traditional medicine right now operates in a fairly anti-scientific form.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they have gone from, analysis of humans in a multivariable function to a lot of single variable analysis.
Mhm.
And by that, I mean, it is in order to prescribe a drug now, they're essentially saying, is this single variable, cholesterol, a high number? If it is a high number, you get this pill, statin drug. If this number is high, you get this pill. And that is a single variable analysis.
Right.
Right. And so, like, for instance, I could tell you right now, if I were to go into, pick a doctor, a family doctor around here, and he were to take my CMP panel, he would see my cholesterol and he would put me on a statin drug. Now, the question is, okay, if you put me on a statin drug, the perception is, well, now I have a marketably less chance of having a heart attack. It's actually not the case. The actual reduction of your chances of having a heart attack when you're on a statin drug versus not on a statin drug, somewhere between 1% and 2%. So it's improving your chances. Yeah. It's improving your chances of essentially not having a heart attack by somewhere between 1% and 2%.
Wow. And the side effects of those medications increase.
There are many.
Right.
There are many. One, here's just a lifestyle. You have to take a pill every freaking day.
Right.
Right. That is reducing your chance of this thing by 1% to 2%. And again, it was prescribed to you based on a single variable analysis.
Right.
This doctor is not telling you, well, you should improve your diet.
Mm-hmm.
You should improve your exercise. Potentially you're allergic to things that you're around every single day. And that is possibly a factor of your higher cholesterol or your, increased blood pressure.
That high cholesterol that I was mentioning was allergic to dairy and eggs. So you have to take that out first before you.
You have to take out all of the various things that are
crazy.
completely destroying your body.
What traditional doctor is telling you to get a food allergy test?
Not one.
Zero.
So is your doctor lying to you about what normal is and what the best protocols are?
They might not be lying to you, but they're not incentivized to tell you the truth.
Right.
I think the traditional medical community, and I say traditional, but it's kind of, especially over the last 20 years, they're incentivized in every way to push pills.
Right.
That's how they make money.
Mm.
So they don't see optimizing humans during the course of their life as being a moneymaker.
They don't ever, it's never about the root cause.
No.
It's always about they're
also
reactive.
In the insurance pay business, which is traditional medicine, they're constrained by certain things. Like for GLP-1s, you have to have diabetes and you need to be overweight to get prescribed GLP-1 and get your insurer to pay for it. In cash pay, you don't have that barrier to entry. It's basically BMI. Do you have healthy thyroid?
Mm.
Okay. Because we don't have the burden of United Healthcare picking up the tab for you. Right. But I would use, I think sleep apnea is a great potentially treatable for many people. That's a multi-billion-dollar industry for pharmaceuticals. Like if you have a CPAP machine, that's a lot of money. And then if you have gone to the point where the CPAP doesn't work as well, they're going to go to a company called Inspire that has $750 million of revenue per year of putting a pacemaker. Like we were talking a surgical procedure that is costing insurance $40,000 to $50,000 per person. They're doing $750 million of procedures to treat sleep apnea that has a significantly high correlation to obesity. Why aren't we potentially prescribing those people GLP-1s? Because I would make the case for GLP-1s, lose the weight, and maybe you don't have to have a surgical procedure that puts a pacemaker in your body to treat sleep apnea. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our whole healthcare system is a little out of whack and misguided. And then when you look at why, I always like to look at, well, okay, what could be causing this? And you see that all these pharmaceutical companies are the ones funding the education,
right?
Which these doctors are. I think most doctors actually have really good intentions. They want to help people.
Absolutely.
There are some of the best people out there, but they've just been brainwashed for decades of schooling to do certain things that don't necessarily, uncover what the underlying issues are.
Right. Look, if I break my arm or I get shot, I'm going to a doctor.
Yeah. 100%.
But there is no freaking chance that I'm going to a doctor for him to analyze my day-to-day health.
Not at all.
Zero chance. And I'm also, if a doctor is in the room, I assume that what he's going to tell me, okay, how do I improve my cholesterol? He's going to say you should go on a statin drug. Not, well, maybe something within your allergy panel or your CMP panel can be altered.
Yeah.
So are doctors incentivized to prescribe and do those things?
Yeah, it makes money. Makes a hell of a lot of money for the hospital system, for the doctors, for everybody, pharmaceutical companies.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Doctors go into the medical field, high 90% of them go into the medical field to help people.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them feel stuck when they get there based upon essentially what their expectation of the medical field was versus what the reality is of it. And they end up working with a lot of patients that they probably look at them and say, my God, if we had altered XYZ, the person he wouldn't even be in this place.
Right.
But the person is now here. And the way in which the hospital makes all the money is to be reactive rather than proactive.
Yeah. Well, I liked what you said about what you were talking about with the prescription, how it only helps like by 1 to 2%. But if you can possibly, I forget the term that you said, the single focus.
It's single variable analysis versus a multivariable analysis. I mean, our most healthcare, doctors will review patients based on a single variable analysis.
Mm-hmm.
They will say this indicator is off.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, this is the prescription.
Right.
And that is correlation there is essentially their assessment of trauma, which would be bullet in person, remove bullet, rotten tooth, remove tooth.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also using that same analysis for cholesterol high, put on drug. And that's not scientific. Science bases itself in a multivariable analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And so we use a multivariable analysis that the traditional healthcare space is not currently using in order to figure out the root cause and be proactive in individuals' health.
Mm.
And it is remarkable how much of a change that people can make in an incredibly short period of time. Like I think Will called me up the other day and he was like, hey, I have a woman on the phone. She's desperate for answers. And she basically wants us to give a guarantee of efficacy, like a guarantee that what we're going to do works.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, to be perfectly honest, I gave her a guarantee. Like if she's that desperate for answers, we have 700 different kinds of diagnostic tests that are at our immediate disposal.
Yeah.
Like
we're going to find something.
100%. And and it's not 99%, it's 100%.
Yeah.
And I think within the first 2 diagnostic tests, CMP panel and allergy test, we found exactly the root cause.
Wow.
Pinned it. And we were like, yeah, you're going to feel better in like a week or 2.
So with Defiant or Nivana, do you guys have a guarantee for people who might be on the fence?
Yeah. I mean, we don't.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't have this, like I always liken it to the P90X guarantee.
Yeah.
Which is, it's kind of like, yeah, if you do what we say, you're going to see results.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, if we've helped so many people where if someone said, well, if this doesn't work for me, would you give me my money back?
Yep.
Like, absolutely.
Right.
So yeah.
So if they did what you said, didn't get the results,
sure,
you'd give them their money.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's all people want because there's just so many people trying to sell them everything they don't know.
Yeah.
New.
Right.
Yeah.
And also they don't even know the impact that it can have, how much they can improve their life in
It's
in the boardroom and in the bedroom.
Oh, 100%. It's actually wild. My cousin she graduated from college, got out. You gained some weight during college and she got out. She was getting back in shape. And she was like, there's about 15 pounds that I just can't shake. And she'd come in. This was when we first opened actually. And I was like, all right, what's your diet? You're young, you're vibrant, you're working out. She was like, wow, I eat chicken and I eat broccoli. That's what I eat. And it's because she was trying to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Food sensitivity test, CMP panel came back. She was allergic to chicken. She was allergic to broccoli.
Wow.
I was like, well, maybe you should try. And this is just me being like, it shows you shouldn't eat the things that you're currently eating.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't eat those things. That was a Monday. By Friday, she'd lost 12 pounds like that.
That's crazy.
And that's not even, and the issue is, I think traditional healthcare looks at that and they're like, that's not a business model that makes money. And I'm like, no, that's wrong. Because where is she going to go for all of her answers related to healthcare from now on?
Yeah.
Us.
Yeah.
Period. Right.
Yeah.
When she's in the shopping center looking for a supplement and she can't decide, who's she calling?
Yeah.
She's calling
you
us,
guys.
right?
Yeah. Do you guys help a lot of women?
A lot. Yeah.
Oh, we'd still have more women than men.
Yeah.
because you started in the med spa space, or women are more likely to invest in these types of?
Women make 80% of the healthcare decisions. So women are generally more often going to come in clinic, especially. But in the traditional aesthetic space, it's probably 95% women. Men have been hesitant to get into this, which I think this is a point where we saw that as an opportunity. Of men should care more about health decisions, and they should be like, we care a lot about information. Like, even if you're not someone that wants to see the doctor a lot, do you want to see your lab tests and get that data? I'd argue most men want to see that. They just have to feel comfortable in the place that they're getting it from.
Right. Yeah. So you guys see a lot of women, I guess, like why do some women look dramatically older than other women their same age?
They don't go to a med spa.
I mean, yeah. Why do some women look dramatically older than other women? I don't know. Yeah, they don't take care of their skin. They don't eat correctly. They
sit in the sun.
They sit in the sun. A lot of sun exposure.
A lot of alcohol consumption.
It's the same thing for men.
Yeah, same.
If you actively come to our clinic and get on the right, ultra processed foods, not working out, it's an evil cycle of like, you eat like crap, so you feel like crap, so you don't want to go to the gym. When you do go to the gym, you're not getting the results you want. Now you're upset. Now you're not going to go back. Like, it just starts to go.
You know what? I'd argue that we test a lot more men than women because men want to see what the variables are. And we treat way more women for aesthetics.
Yeah.
Don't want to test.
Men are they're incredibly data driven. Not that women aren't, but men like to see a number go up and down.
Yeah.
Very logical.
Yeah. And so that's been kind of our draw for men is like, do you want to see that number go? If that number goes up, you feel better.
Yeah.
And they come back the next week and they're like, that number went up. I feel better. It's pretty cool that way.
Yeah. And I think I'd say women that are going to a traditional med spa, which is a lot of them now, if they were to also decide, let me care as much about taking the lab tests and feeling healthy on the inside, as much as you care about the confidence in the outside, it's going to be exponentially better on both sides. You're going to feel healthier and you're going to look younger. And who doesn't want to do that?
What's funny also is a lot of people have been taking, this kind of gets back to the supply chain issue. A lot of people, they go to the supermarket and they buy non-name brand, out of direct from China multivitamin.
Mm-hmm.
And they take it because everybody says to take that multivitamin. And it is remarkable when they come to us and we're like, listen, just for shits and giggles, just take this multivitamin rather than this one, and take this supplement rather than this one. And they'll come back like a week, 2 weeks later and be like, I felt that.
Yeah.
Like
57% of supplements never make it into your system.
Yeah. Well, they're just, they're in a form or fashion that's not entirely bioavailable.
Yeah. It's all about bioavailability. Most vitamins have very low, if any, bioavailability.
Yeah.
You'd want to get liposomal nanotechnology, some form of bioavailable product. Most people don't know that.
Yeah. No, it's.
I learned that from being in the CBD space. So developed like 30 CBD products. So we did all of our stuff had nanotechnology or liposome encapsulations.
Awesome.
So you could actually absorb it, feel it. And people notice too. They're like, I actually feel this. It works. It's like, yeah, your body's absorbing it.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah. It's crazy that way.
So you guys identified certain prescriptions could actually be depleting essential nutrients. Sometimes as high as like 60% of patients might be experiencing this. What everyday medications are secretly draining and depleting nutrients in our biology?
Yeah, I don't know about that question.
Yeah.
No?
We're going to have to edit that one.
I don't know about that question.
That's a
Will question.
That was a Will question.
That's a Will question that he doesn't know.
Is there prescriptions that you guys see that are more common that could possibly be hurting people? I mean, like...
Well, shit, antidepressants.
Yeah, that's a good.
I mean, antidepressants are there's tons of people that are on that, and that's kind of a whole nother rabbit hole that we could go down. I mean, I think people use those. Doctors have put people on antidepressants as just a permanent solution, whereas antidepressants were originally thought of as being a cast for an otherwise broken brain that were not supposed to be something that were permanent, but were supposed to be a solution for something to heal and then get off of it. So we're seeing people that are on antidepressants And
Probably painkillers.
Painkillers are a big one too.
Yeah.
Painkillers. I mean, and doctors prescribe that still to this day, like it's candy.
Yeah. Those mess people up.
They do in a big way. And it's also, it's like a mask for just treating the underlying pain.
Mhm.
Like my client just yesterday texted me while I was at dinner, huge bruise on his tricep. He called up his doctor. Doctor immediately said, "Do you want some Percocet?"
Mm-hmm.
And no idea what the hell's actually wrong with it. And so I told him, I was like, go get an x-ray, go see what is, is it torn? If it's torn, then obviously there's going to be some surgical procedure to fix it. But then the actual healing process, we're not going to go hard in the paint with painkillers. There's going to be a stem cell protocol. There's going to be potentially a PRP protocol. There's going to be a peptide protocol. And with these protocols, we're going to improve recovery by 8 to 10x.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Again, I don't have to guarantee these things. I just see them every day.
Right.
So
and all those treatments you guys provide at
every one of them.
At Defiant.
And that's part of kind of the full vertical of wellness that we provide.
Okay.
I mean, I wrecked my wrists. Actually, he did too.
Ankle.
Doing power cleans. There was just power clean too much and came down wrong. And initially went to the doctor. This was when we first opened the brick and mortar clinic, and it was immediate prescription of pain meds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like pain meds. They don't feel good. So went over and was like, I'm gonna take some of my own medicine, and injected PRP. I did that on a Wednesday, and on Saturday I was doing handstand push-ups.
Yeah, and so we probably want to define what PRP is: a platelet-rich plasma.
Oh, yeah.
We just draw your own blood out of your arm. We spin it in a centrifuge, and then you're pulling out the liquid gold, which is your growth factors in your blood cells. And we inject it into the area that needs it, whether that's a sprained wrist in your instance, or a sprained ankle in my instance. And actually, he put it in my ankle and in between my toes, which that hurt a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
in between your toes.
The results
looks like it sucks.
Were fantastic. Like I had done amateur Muay Thai fight and just tore my ankle up during that fight. And it was 3 months of rehab. And I finally got the PRP shot. And now I'm 100%. I would stand by that procedure for sure.
Yeah. And it's also not a one size fits all. Like my body's very reactive to PRP. His body is very reactive to PRP. We've also have people that their body is not entirely that reactive to PRP. It doesn't.
Is that because of their age? I've heard age, like after the age of 40, PRP is almost ineffective because there's less.
But again, it's a multivariable analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's age. Yes, it's muscle function. It's your general body reactivity. It can be a whole slew of things.
Mm-hmm.
And your body is going to react. Your body will react more optimally the more optimal your body is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're screwed up in all sorts of different ways, your body's not going to react as well as mine or his or a person that's much more optimal.
Right. So if PRP doesn't work, what other treatments are there? Peptide therapies.
Yeah.
BPC 157, TB 500, or the FDA approved version of both of those things. There's a myriad of peptides depending on what location it is in the body, whether it's muscular, whether it's tendon. And then there's stem cells.
Mm-hmm.
We have stem cells that we do in the clinic, and some people, there's great reaction or no reaction to PRP, and then great reaction to stem cells. Or great reaction to PRP and no reaction.
So what's the legal landscape behind all this? We've got an attorney here. So everybody probably there's so much speculation. Are stem cells illegal? Are these peptides getting banned?
No, stem cells aren't illegal. It's actually the marketing of stem cells. You can't go out and say stem cells will cure this.
Correct.
Stem cells will do this.
Right.
And people will get a big hand slap if they say we are treating a condition with stem cells. But actually using stem cells is generally going to be birthing tissue stem cells, not embryos, right? Like we're not doing embryos, and like that's illegal. Yeah. But having birthing tissue from like umbilical cords, that's generally how stem cells are being produced here.
Right.
Also, like if you go overseas, like they're extrapolating the amount of stem cells and they're multiplying it. And do you want to do that and go overseas and try something like that? Maybe, probably not. You can get them here and they don't multiply it.
Yeah. I think stem cells we've had great results with stem cells.
Joints and shoulders. Yeah. I think as you get older and you have a nagging injury, like there's only so much that you can do, but it can help with those nagging joints. But just understand, like stem cells are a it's a slow build to recovery. It's not an immediate result.
It's kind of funny. People, because of how just here's a pill and this will fix it. Like that's what traditional healthcare says.
Yeah.
Like when we come by and we're like, yeah, this may help you. But if it doesn't, this other thing, we're going to try that. And this is a collaborative effort. Like we're going to try all these different things and we're going to really understand your body. We're going to really understand you. And we're going to take that journey with you to kind of optimize beginning to end. And by the end of this, you will be a different human for sure. And there's your guarantee.
So what does a stem cell treatment cost?
It depends on how many cc's you're putting in, but ranges anywhere. I would budget somewhere between like $2,000 and $4,000, depending upon the area that you're treating. Like if we think about a Rogan, he's putting in every area of his body. Like once a year, he's probably spending $50,000. So it'll range, but
and you can get that done here. You don't have to go to Mexico or
you don't have to go to Mexico or Bali.
No.
What's wrong with going to Mexico or Bali to get stem cells? What are the complications that can happen?
It's always like, what are you getting? Like it's hard to vet. And I think that's actually what we do really well is we want to vet all of our suppliers and make sure we're getting what they say we're getting. And do you trust it? Right. And if you feel like you trust some overseas clinic, great, go for it. But if you don't, then you can get it here.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, nothing I'm injecting into my body.
Yeah.
I want to know exactly where it's coming from.
Exactly.
I think most people are that way too.
Yeah.
I think they are, but then, the market only provides what it can provide. And right now, a lot of the peptides, a lot of the supplements and everything like that, people are using stuff from India, China, Mexico, Colombia, just because that's what's available.
Right.
And
how can the consumer know where it's coming from?
A lot of times they don't.
A lot of times they have no idea. And I've learned through representing a lot of companies kind of how to figure out sort of extrapolating information in order to figure out where it's coming from. But look, companies are really good in masking where their sources are.
Yeah.
For all sorts of different reasons.
Right.
But a lot of times if it is US made, manufactured, supplied, and the entire supply chain exists within the United States, the company's going to tell you that.
Yeah.
Because like us, like
right. They're going to wear it as a badge of honor.
100%.
Right.
Yeah. They're going to put that flag on everything they have because they can swear by it.
Right. So if you're concerned with quality and you're looking at a possible telehealth or med spa or functional clinic to go for peptide therapies or any of these therapies, and they don't promote that it's made in the US, manufactured in the US, chances are most likely that it's probably not.
Yes. I mean, I'm concerned about quality. I'm also concerned about sterile use, right? For people that are just going out and buying their own peptides. Some people think you could just mix water and not sterile saline solution into your
100% people are doing
that. It's scary.
100% people are doing that.
Tap water.
Like, do I put distilled water?
100% people are doing that.
Yeah. Hey, I considered it because it's hard to get bacteriostatic water. Yeah. Like you have to get it from
a pharmacy.
Yeah. And it's expensive.
Yeah, it's like $20, like $30 for
right.
a vial.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between that and distilled water then? What's the difference between bacteriostatic and distilled water?
Lab controlled with the right amount of sodium chloride in it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's sterile.
So there's no negative chemical reactions that could happen, or is it just for the sterile aspect?
Well, think about like if you go into like 503 or 503, a pharmacy, and you're looking at the sterility of the lab and what they're doing with all of the medications that they're making. It is a person with a mask on, with a suit on, in a sterile room that is putting these compounds together, right? That is putting bacteriostatic water together and like diluting it the right way. If you're just, again, trying to do it yourself, like you're not in a sterile way, and you're probably going to get an infection and you're going to have some problems if you do that.
Yeah, it can get really bad. That reminds me, you were talking about the mask and everything. So I was talking to a compounding pharmacy overseas and she was texting me WhatsApp. And by the way, this is one of the compounding pharmacies, peptide manufacturers overseas that is used by most of the peptide industry right now. And I texted her. And I was like, because she was saying it comes through a lab in New Jersey. And I was like, okay, cool. I will travel to New Jersey. And she was like, well, it's actually just like an Amazon facility.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, fine. And I was like, all right, well, just give me some pictures of your
We're
your
gonna get
lab.
some people in trouble for this podcast now.
I didn't name anybody. This is the this is the people.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't care. It proved me wrong is what I would tell them.
Right.
Tell me I'm saying things that are untrue. But anyway, so I said, hey, take pictures of your lab and send them to me. And so she sent me a picture. I have it in my phone right now. And it was people in lab, garments and the masks and everything like that. And I was like, that looks familiar. I had gotten all the pictures for our website and everything at one point.
It was a stock image.
It was an Adobe stock image.
Of course.
I'm
sure that's someone to trust, right?
Yeah, right. And I was like, that's pretty cool. So that's funny.
Sounds like I'm back in the weed game. All these drug dealers trying to push their product is clean.
It's a wild west.
Right? It is. Yeah, the peptide game, the concierge health game, it is wild west.
Yeah.
Well, I think you've got RFK and Health and Human Services now. Like, it's probably going to open up more in regulation because he's kind of pro optimization. So as regulations build up, just like you saw in the weed space,
cannabis,
the cannabis space, like, is it safer for people to buy drugs on the street from the drug dealer, or is it safer to buy it from a facility, a grower, right? Like, as regulation comes in, it's actually going to be better for the industry.
So do you think as RFK and Trump with what they're doing with, MAHA?
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to, one, open up the market to more acceptance and to allow better verticals for people to get access to this?
Definitely. 100%.
Yeah. I think the underlying thought of that movement is that one has to question science.
Yeah.
And that is healthy. Science needs to be questioned. Healthcare needs to be questioned. It needs to be a collaborative effort,
right,
between you and your trusted healthcare source.
Yeah.
I think for the past 5 to 7 years, especially around COVID, there was kind of a deification of healthcare professionals where they became unquestionable. And it's like, though, that's not science.
Yeah. It became a cult.
It became a cult.
Yeah.
Cult of personality, cult of, just doctors. Their
almost
word
a religion.
Right. Their word is gospel. And it's like, that has never been science. That has never been healthy. So, even when somebody says this is bad, it's like, well, show me the data and question the data, and it's peer reviewed, and it's all those things. So I think that movement, the MAHA movement, obviously it just does benefit us in a lot of ways because he's very pro peptide and he's very pro.
I mean, you see him just banging out pull-ups. You're like, man, I hope I can do that. I hope I can do that at his age.
I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure he's supplementing his testosterone.
Yeah, absolutely he is. And God bless he does.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Seems to have, by the way, seems to have a great marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure, he's doing just fine.
He's married to who is it from the Larry David show?
Yeah. All
right, where is it going? So healthcare is actually the last major industry that hasn't been disrupted.
Yeah.
Like, it's a $4 trillion industry. Like, if we think about logistics, that's like a $4 trillion industry. Uber disrupted logistics and transportation. There hasn't been a consolidation of anybody for optimization of the healthcare space. Like, we talked a little bit about HIMSS. They're an $8 billion company that is the largest in optimization for a $4 trillion industry. So there's a huge runway for people like us to come in and help people. And honestly, it's going to help lower insurance costs in America, which is great for all of us. Like, you look at United Healthcare, they bring in $100 billion a quarter. They make $5 billion every quarter. They're making a lot of money. They're charging us a lot of money. I don't know if you know your healthcare costs, but mine's for the family is like $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
And we are, this group here when was the last time you went to a traditional doctor for anything?
Yeah, you don't.
Nothing. I try not to. I make it my mission to never go to a doctor unless I'm, like you said, if I need to see the emergency room, I'm going to the doctor. If I have a cut, a massive wound that's life-threatening, something broken, some surgery. But aside from that, I'm trying not to go to the doctor.
Well, the idea would be just, optimally, you would have emergency insurance.
Right.
And then you wouldn't have to pay for any of the other stuff.
I would be more behind that.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about this morning. We're from the professional services industry.
Right.
So people, at least as an attorney, people are very cost sensitive when it comes to attorneys. So they always, it's like if they're paying you $1, they want to see results for that dollar.
Yeah, you're a sunk cost.
Theoretically, I'm a sunk cost, right? I like to think the result is better than where you came in, and especially for you, you're in financial services. People give you money; they want a result.
And I'm in marketing, same thing.
And they
better be results.
Yeah, so they hold me to a higher stake than hedge fund managers.
Yeah, right.
It's like a hedge fund gets you a 7 or 8% return in a year. You got to invest $1 million. If I don't get you a 200% return in a month, I'm fired.
But if I were to go to one of my clients and be like, hey, look, for the rest of your life, you're going to pay me $12,500 to $13,000 per year. What assurances, what quality control, what results do you want to see for that amount of money? They would send me a comprehensive list.
Mm-hmm.
They would say, okay, I'm going to pay you $12,500 to $13,000 per year. You better lay out exactly what you're going to give me every single year, and you better track it. It better be personalized.
Mm-hmm.
I better see a goddamn good result.
Yeah. Improvements
every single year, year over year.
Not declines.
U.S. population per capita spends $12,500 to $13,000 per year on health insurance and healthcare related costs. And we're
fatter than ever.
We're fatter
Sicker
than ever. Yeah.
Sicker than ever.
Where's the return?
Right.
And nobody's looking around and being like, okay, well, we're giving you all this money. What are we getting in returern?
And for that amount or less,
we get a healthy 30-year-old rebate.
Yeah.
Right? That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Where's the accountability?
Right. Exactly. Where is it?
Where and this is, it's funny. We also talked about like Hulu. If I'm spending $150 a month on Hulu and I'm watching a show and it freezes for a second, I lose my mind.
Oh yeah.
That's $150.
I'm switching to Amazon Prime.
I'm starting to curse everything. All that kind of stuff. That's $150. People, most of them spend $1,000 a month on healthcare, $1,500 a month on healthcare, and they don't ask for any accountability.
Right.
And so
it's actually you're ridiculed and frowned and called a conspiracy theorist and a skeptic.
Right.
And if you even ask those questions.
Right.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It is.
Like for $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
You know, we like,
what am I getting?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can go somewhere like Nivana or Defiant for less than $1,000 a month.
Change your life. $1,000 a month.
Right.
Yeah.
You're completely changing your life month one.
You're getting the VIP treatment.
Month one, you're changing your life. And so it's wild that these, and I don't blame it on the doctors. Again, I love the doctors. I think they really want to help.
Yeah. But it's a system.
It's a system.
Yeah.
The system is essentially like, shut up and take it.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what we're taking advantage of is a system that's just telling people to go screw.
Right. I think people are waking up to it though.
They are.
Especially with, I think COVID was a big accelerator of that. Now RFK Jr. and Maha.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild.
Yeah, I mean, what did they shut down during COVID and what did they leave open? Your gym got shut down, but you could still go to McDonald's
and bars.
And
crazy. It was yeah. Don't even get me started about COVID.
The logic behind COVID was wild.
I was like, this can't be happening.
Yeah,
from day one.
And
but
just
being in the cannabis industry, like there were some big movers and shakers that I was working with. They're like, invest in hand sanitizer, buy PPE equipment, do all this stuff before it even happened. And I'm like, why? They're like, there's going to be something big that happens. Just trust me on this. And I'm like,
well, they were right about that.
Yeah.
Damn right about that.
Yeah.
For sure.
One of them's neighbors with Donald Trump. So let's just say, he lives in billionaire row.
He knew something.
He knew.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I think here in Orange County, Newport Beach was like, the fuck, what? We're not shutting down. Huntington Beach, most of the part was
that's what our CrossFit.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, we were
shut down for like a month.
We were in Chicago. That was nonsense.
Yeah. I can't even imagine what it was like in those places.
It sucked. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It still hasn't fully recovered.
I've actually, since that all happened, I just refuse to go to LA now. I used to enjoy going to LA for, food, whatever it was. Now I just tried to never go there because it was like, it turned into a zombie land. Like I would be walking down the streets and people would like walk around me like they were scared. I'm like, this is crazy.
Just like that in Chicago. And we were talking about that. I think it's like the urban center is like, I don't know what's going on, but we've moved to the suburbs. So
yeah, which is it's weird that, and now you're getting kind of political.
Yeah, no.
But no, going back 10 years, 15 years, it was that side of the aisle that was against corporations, against large scale pharmaceutical companies.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And now it's like
this should be a populist movement to say, how do we lower our insurance costs? And
Right.
how do we lower that? Well, we help to optimize people's health.
Yeah.
Why don't we all get behind that? I
Yeah.
think that this is a both aisles discussion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How do we get behind that? What can we do?
I think you proliferate things that optimize health, and we can solve things like sleep apnea, or a lot of it, by just reducing the levels of obesity. And if we think about when cancer becomes prevalent, it's usually around like age 66. So it's that buildup of all of these things, and we don't know exactly what that solution is, but maybe by doing some of the right things, we can find it.
So what would you say are like 3 things that everybody can do today to optimize their health and immediately change
Test. Like you need to
test.
The first thing you need to do is take control over your biomarkers, understand what your baseline levels are, CMP panels, all of that. Take a food sensitivity analysis, because it's probably something you're eating that is not making you feel good and bringing inflammation up in the body. And once you get that base level, then it becomes a customized solution for your body. So I don't think there's a one size fits all solution for everybody. I think there's things that work really well, like for weight loss, GLP-1s are going to be great. But if you have something that you're looking to optimize, test first and then find a solution thereafter.
Mm-hmm. We've been able to build this brand that starts with diagnostic testing and kind of making, what does Will say? He says, we're making wellness sexy.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Loves that one. And people become very data driven when you present them with the facts of the ability for them to better themselves.
Yeah.
And
we compete on our optimization, and it's fun.
All the time. It's a blast.
Yeah.
And even from starting,
I think it's partially like having people in your life that hold you accountable for your health.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that person in your life, like I think Nivana can be that concierge level where you can call us and we are going to tell you our experience. We're going to back that by our nurse practitioners, our medical directors. Like we will have the ability to help solve the issue of why you're not feeling good, and we'll be your partner.
Everybody in our company is currently going through the optimization process.
Yeah. Everybody.
At what age is it most common to start going through the human optimization process?
Well, I think you start thinking about it when you hit 30, like what you said earlier, like you're a former wrestler. I think everyone here was a former athlete. Like you start to realize, I'm not what I was when I was 22. Why can't I get back?
Mentally, I feel better.
Good.
Up here, but my body doesn't. I'm like, it's a little slower getting out of bed this morning.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I can mentally do it, but my body doesn't.
We're gonna get you Simmerellen, and you're gonna feel like $1 million.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever tried it?
Not Simorelin. No, last year I was on Tesamorelin, Ipamorelin, and then HCG.
And those were all
interesting.
Those were all peptide science.
No, that I went to. It was one of my ex-clients, Morph Wellness. He got me on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bacteriostatic water injection. The whole bit.
Yeah. He just sent me the tube. The bacteriostatic water. Had to mix it myself.
Yeah.
As I said, it was a little sketch. Like mixing it the first time.
We'll get you figured out.
When was the last time you tested your labs?
So I actually just got labs done on Monday. So I'll find out, or Tuesday. I'll get those back any day now. Yeah, I've been pretty healthy. I think my T levels were like 597 before I got tested on that. So I'm curious to see what they are now.
Yeah.
I did get off all of that last year just because I don't know. I was going through a weird phase. I felt very, like in my body, and it was just great. But I also like to be very, like, I'm very grounded with meditation and like my spiritual development. I just felt that I was like spending so much time focused on being in the gym over doing, the spiritual work as well. So that was why I got off that. But I want to get another test and see if there's maybe something else like enclomiphene or Simorelin that might be, better and more aligned with where I'm at.
Sermorelin is a wild one. And so I was telling you, because I didn't know if it was just like a placebo effect. When you start taking a new thing, you're like, maybe I'm just imagining this.
Yeah.
Or I want it to work or something like that. And so one night, my wife literally asked me, she was like, what is that, the pill? And I told her. And she was like, whatever newfangled thing you're into now. And I was like, I tell you what, I actually want to test this out. I had this reaction, curious. So I said, take it. one night, not going to hurt anybody, RDT under the tongue. And she woke up the next morning and she was like, that was the deepest sleep I've ever had in my entire life.
Right.
You gave her?
I gave her one. And there's plenty of women that are on Summerlin, but I gave it to her just for one night. And I was like, this hit me the first night. I felt better the first night that I took it.
So am I saying, I always called it Samorlin.
I think everybody
says it weird.
I say it's Summerlin.
I think he's saying it right.
He's probably is.
Yeah,
I probably say it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, yours is harder to say. I'm like, I don't. Yeah.
What is it? Samorlin?
Samorlin.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how the doctor that first introduced it to me called it. So I'm like, okay, you probably know.
Yeah, he definitely does.
You went to school for this.
Yeah, the corporate lawyer doesn't know how to say medical.
But I would trust you over me. I'm a college dropout here, okay? So the rank would be the doctor, the corporate lawyer, and then myself.
College dropout business owner. I mean, you're in good company. So
yeah,
you're
just like Steve Jobs.
Yeah,
exactly.
I wish. He was a special breed for sure.
He was a different cat. But yeah, so I gave her the pill and I was like, I had a first night reaction. And she woke up the next morning and
it just dissolves under the tongue.
Just literally,
it's like 45 seconds.
It's 45 seconds. I literally just dissolve it under the tongue.
And then you take it right before sleep. You don't get this, but I feel slightly dizzy if I just get right up after I take it.
Yeah.
So I usually just get in bed, pop the pill, and I'm out. But actually, I mean, it puts you to bed pretty quickly.
So it's mostly for sleep, or what's the main reason people go on Samorlin
for?
Even
talk about that. It helps to stimulate your pituitary gland to create more growth hormone. So instead of exogenous growth hormone that you were taking HCG, or you're on HCG or
HCG.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said HGH. I was like,
yeah, no, so very close. No.
I was like,
no.
Interesting, Barry Bob.
No, HCG.
Great.
Yeah.
I was like, wait till you're like 60 for the HCG.
Yeah.
But no, it helps to naturally stimulate your growth hormone versus actually taking growth hormone.
Right.
Yeah. So like think like a low dose stimulating your pituitary gland to produce more.
Right. And so that somebody can get on that and notice effects immediately.
The immediate effects will be sleep, and then you're going to start to build over time. And after 6 months, generally you're going to see an increase in muscle mass and a lot of other good benefits too.
But I mean, the increase in sleep, that's
the immediate effect.
Betterment of just deep sleep. You're talking about instant reduction of brain fog.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just slept better.
Yeah.
So what happens when you sleep better? You perform better.
Yeah.
Like, and there's just a correlated effect of all these other things that just become better. Like your thought process is better. Like everything, you're just more awake.
Right. So if your significant other wakes up on the wrong side of the bed a lot, Samorlin is
drop Samorlin. She'd be out.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. Actually, yeah, she was so out, and she told me, she was like, I've never dreamed so much. I've never dreamt so much.
It is a deep sleep.
It is a very deep.
Yeah, I love that.
All encompassing sleep.
Yeah, that's how you know you're dreaming or you're sleeping deep.
Yeah, the REM
the dream
cycle hits in.
Yeah,
right.
It was. So yeah, that is the protocol. I would say we have the most people on. Like the path is the CMP panel, food allergy test, environmental allergy test, some type of, many people are on GLP.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's Cimarelin.
Yeah.
So for the hyper performer athlete executives like ourselves, what's the go-to regimen for them?
Well, so you're dialing in a couple things. A lot of people like us, we're taking multiple supplements.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're doing a lot of cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people that are high performing athletes are coming in. They're taking, what I would say is non-clean pre-workouts, creatines, proteins. Like you're doing kind of a ground up build for those people. And that's really the most fun, right? Because I always kind of say, like, you haven't experienced what pre-workout can really do because you're taking a bunch of bullshit.
Right.
You haven't experienced what creatine can actually do because you're taking shit that's not creatine.
Yeah. So then with just those basic supplements, how can they know they're taking a good one, or what should they be looking for if they're taking creatine or a pre-workout? What are the indicators that determine it's going to be a good supplement?
Well, I think it's like anything, like a good supplier. Like we trust Thorne.
Mm-hmm.
So Thorne multivitamin, Thorne pre-workout. You can actually go on the website and see all of the ingredients.
Yeah.
And like clean ingredients.
Manufactured in the USA.
Manufactured in the US, applied in the USA. our whole supply chain is US.
Well, you should, I mean, you're a creature of habit. So like, what is your Monday? What is your everyday routine?
It's funny when people sometimes ask, how do I become like you?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's actually super easy.
Well, that's a lot of times in clinic, everyone just comes in and like, well, what are you two doing?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
honestly,
guys,
funny enough. Most people come in or we're in the gym or we're doing this and they're just like, I don't give a shit what anybody's, what do you guys do?
Yeah.
And
so what do you guys do?
Right. So,
so I would say you're great with the habit side.
So yeah, for the last, 20 years, I've done the exact same thing every day. But since founding,
we've moved our offices into the health spa. So like he's in there at 6 a.m. every day. I get there around 9-ish.
You do.
So you guys are taking Zoom calls in the cryo chamber is what you're saying?
Pretty much.
I mean, the best.
So, I mean, my CMP panel showed that my testosterone month to month had gone down significantly. So, and my liver enzyme, specifically bilirubin, was a bit elevated. So before I turned to testosterone replacement therapy, I wanted to at least experiment with my body in supplementing with a couple of different supplements, specifically Tongkat Ali. And that helped. That helped and increased the testosterone. At the same time, I moved my multivitamin stack to cleaner source. So everything that I have is either Thorne or Pure Encapsulations, both, again, full supply chain in the United States, both companies that we're now suppliers of. So we have a relationship with both those companies.
People access those through Nivana?
Yeah. So if you're calling and getting on the Nivana program, we're taking your existing supplement stack and we're replacing it primarily with Thorne or Pure Encapsulation product.
Okay. So then walk us through the journey. Let's say I want to get things dialed in. What would be the start to finish journey with a patient that comes into Nivana that's similar to myself? Hey, I want to get optimized. I'm already working out. I'm already eating healthy. I'm already taking supplements. Where do we start?
Yeah, the cool thing about Nivana's journey is that when we have someone that fills out whatever, a form on our website, we will have our team contact you generally within 24 hours. And they're going to first understand, like, what are your goals? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to lose weight or are you just trying to optimize? And once we understand what you want, we can actually send a concierge person to your house for a blood draw. They're going to pull the blood. We're going to test all of the panels. We partner with LabCorp, so just a national presence there. We can do food allergy tests and environmental testing. So we kind of start with that first. Once we get the lab tests back and we have your results.
And you said up to 700 possible
700
tests.
biomarkers. Like there's so many.
Yeah.
Like if you
700 different types of tests.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We have
individual tests. So when you get your primary diagnostic test back, we can dial in like a microscope. We can say, okay, you have bilirubin. Increase it. We have multiple different tests that will go in and identify exactly what is wrong with the liver, the kidney, the gallbladder, every
it's just thing. It's going overall. So like once we get those tests back, like we're reviewing for outliers, like in your instance, highly allergic to egg whites. So we're going to call you up and tell you you're highly allergic to egg whites. Let's pull that out right now.
There's a lot of lifestyle coaching that goes along with what we do.
But we'll have our team, our nurse practitioner, our RNs, our medical director, like they'll look over the labs. And then we come up with a customized solution that is geared to what you need. So in your instance, maybe that's better sleep. Maybe it's something like sermorelin for someone that is maybe 40, 50 pounds overweight and they're looking to take that down. It may be GLP-1. Could it be some glutide? Could it be tirzepatide, depending upon what you're looking to do? So it's really just customizing that path and then helping you along the way. So we're accessible. Like if you sign up for Nivana and you want to talk to John, myself, or Will, or anyone on our team, like we're happy to jump on the phone and talk to you, right? Like I think it's getting that level of access where you have a partner in your journey. It's not, go on the insurance app and see if you can find an appointment with us, right? Like we are going to first get you on a plan and then we're going to hold ourselves accountable to stay on that plan.
So that plan could be like peptide therapy, hormone therapy, and then vitamin supplementation,
vitamin supplements, all the things.
It's everything.
I mean, we have so much access to all of, not just all of those like peptide protocols and hormone replacement therapy and clomiphene, testosterone, cypionate, GLP-1s, but we even have acne treatment in-house, right? Like we can help you clear your skin.
Which
So
ironically is I mean, the number of people that have come in for acne treatment that have done then full diagnostic testing, gotten on the Nivana plan, and then seen just a clear up of their acne is like 95% of the people that come in for acne
without getting on some really bad things from your
they're not getting on Accutane.
Oh yeah, so bad.
There's all sorts of studies about.
I don't know what the exact. It was something like a third of people might experience ED of men when you take higher dose Accutane. Like it is a scary.
Well, that's the
scary number.
That's yeah.
It's like, oh great, I have clear skin, but I can't get my dick up. Like
right,
that's not a fix. Like, that's not.
Well,
that's not going to be.
Well, and that's I think the biggest difference between like a Hims, which again, great company, and us, which is Hims is primarily, I mean, they're distributors.
Yeah,
they're a pill mill.
Yeah.
So if your dick doesn't get up, go to Hims.
Right.
If you want to understand why your dick doesn't get up, you come to us, and we can also give you the dick pills. but at the same time, it's we want to find the root cause of what is causing your problems, whatever it is. If it's acne,
and I think in just like with your experience and like just with all the tests that we've run, you have to start with testing because there's so many people that we've seen that just have those food allergies, and that could be big thing. But it becomes potentially a lifelong journey of partnering and just understanding your tests, and like we become that concierge versus again just the doctor system. You don't know who you're going to see.
Yeah, I would say of the people that I think I'm, if anything, underestimating this. 9 out of 10 people that come in have a food allergy. They don't know about, and they're eating the thing they're allergic to.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can walk into the doctor and say I have this thing, and they don't test at all, and they'll prescribe you stuff that could possibly cause more harm than it's helping.
Insurance isn't going to cover a food allergy test.
Yeah. So part of the customer journey is emphasized on community at Nivana. How does being a part of the Nivana community accelerate results compared to trying to optimize health by yourself?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of the things we talked about is how do you optimize health with yourself without the backing of like a medical team? First, you can't get access to labs by yourself. You don't know what peptides you're buying. So like we're vetting out the supply chains and we're along for the journey with you. And I think there's a big part to that.
You need a advocate in your healthcare journey.
Yeah.
Which it kind of gets back to what we were talking about with COVID, where
someone that'll call bullshit on
exactly.
Right? Like, no, you don't, maybe you shouldn't take step. Like maybe you shouldn't do this. Right.
Yeah. Maybe just don't do something you're highly allergic to.
Yeah. Are there any markers which can predict premature aging before symptoms start appearing?
Well, I mean, testosterone is the biggest one there, right? Like when you lose, like when we think about the aging issue, it is a loss of muscle mass, primarily in bone density. So you start to get frail quicker and you look older as you age. And how do you get ahead of that? It's looking at things like, can I supplement my testosterone when I'm in my 40s, or if my levels are below optimal? So I think there's a number of biomarkers, but that would be a big one, especially for men.
Mm-hmm.